Podcastify, the bold new way to podcast with your host,
What? Jay. Robert.
Circle Up Prowl, Season 2, Episode 8. Talk a little Jags, OTAs. What's up, people?
Well, Jalen, the non-story, is back today, so...
The non-story.
Woo!
The story of OTAs is the non-stories.
OTAs, yeah. I listen to a lot of 1010XL. I don't know why I do it to myself.
I don't know why you do it to yourself.
I don't know either. But it's because Jaguars all the time, all day, every day. But it was so funny. I forget. I think it might have been Beef or Tony. I'm not sure. But they were asking in a crosstalk today. They were like, "So did you see anything from Blake Bortles today that really made you happy or intrigued you?" He goes, "No, I couldn't see anything. They were all the way passing on the farthest corner of the field."
So maybe Ryan O'Halloran.
Oh, Ryan now? Okay.
That'll be Ryan O. He's been bitching and complaining the whole damn time. He cannot stand where the media has. Guess what? Coughlin.
Tommy Coughs is back.
Yes, Tommy Cough is back, and the effect is in full.
Yeah, I already heard through the grapevine. I'm not sure which grapevine it was that they took away the old DJ. No more music out on the practice field.
You knew that would be the case.
That's the weirdest development of the whole list is no music. Why?
I don't really understand that either because I was always under the impression that it was like a noise. It was like a distractor, and that's what it should be, right? Because you should be feeling a little distracted out there to replicate
background noise.
Yeah. So
yeah, but the sense of the music, you couldn't really understand the vocals from the coaches and get really one-on-one with people. So it was also a distraction in that aspect.
Just worried about mixing up the vocals from the songs.
From the coaches. Because the coaches sound like Yin Yang Twins and Yo Gotti. Okay. Got it. Because there's how many black on our team? Like half a dozen?
Well, if you're Yin Yang Twins and you're whispering in somebody's ear like that could be anybody.
Very, very true. But I digress.
A little linebacker, let me whisper in your ear.
I don't want to be hit with a baseball bat. That's all I know.
Well, but I mean, if you notice, a lot of teams don't do that.
Well, a lot of teams do it too. Like I think 2 West Coast teams are still doing it out there, and
Seattle's where we obviously got it.
Yeah, Seattle's where we else got it, and I think Atlanta does it. I mean,
that's where they obviously got it from.
I know
they pipe in noise during their practice and their games.
Yeah,
there you go.
So
it won't be as easy in their stadium.
So there's that.
It doesn't do much for me.
It neither here nor there for me, but it is what it is.
Do traditional, that works better.
Let's do a rundown of the non-stories. So Brandon Albert hasn't shown up yet.
Non-story.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about Brandon Albert not showing up?
I'll say -2.
I'd say a 1.5.
I'd say a -0.
You're probably closer to correct. 0 is probably the correct answer. I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying that is because there was no contact and communication for a while.
But he already called, so
that's why I said there was none for a while.
He's a worrier.
Yeah,
Comes down to him being a worrier.
Yeah, he's a worrier.
I'm not worried about it. When they start taking his cheddar, he'll be here.
It's Duval Jaguars.
Duval Jaguars? We're not Jacksonville Jaguars, we're just Duval?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keeping it really local.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, at any rate, the other night was, I'll say 2 nights ago. Was it 2 nights ago? He was in Cleveland watching LeBron.
When he was at a wedding.
LeBron really didn't win. It was Kyrie.
Yeah, it was Kyrie. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
LeBron almost blew the game.
I was not the least bit worried. He was the best player on our team last year.
That's where I'm at a -2. I could care less.
And then, he's not the only DB that didn't practice.
The whole squad of DBs didn't practice.
They all came down with, quote, injuries.
And Church, who we just signed, has a back injury all of a sudden. And Aaron Colvin's in a walking boot today.
Everybody gets an injury that they got to work out when it comes to voluntary training.
But you knew some of the issues there because Colvin's coming off IR.
Well, a back injury from Church? I mean, that was a little suspect.
None of it's serious.
None of it's serious. And didn't Marone say...
is it going to linger? That's my only worry.
Didn't Marone say if it was game day, they would be fine to go?
It's serious enough for them to not have to practice when they're not
when it's
required
voluntary.
to. Yeah, it's serious enough to where they don't have to practice when they're not required to.
Yeah.
That's it. When they get to training camp, they're all going to be practicing.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that at all. Take it easy, take it slow.
And that
Get it right, get it tight.
That's kind of where I'm
The
at.
poet Bubba Sparks once said, "Get it right, get it tight."
Yeah,
This
that's
is literally
fine.
what popped in my head.
Hey, whatever works.
And that's you can try to draw storylines during this time of the year because that's all we got.
Yeah, right now 2 training camps in, that's it.
Just paranoid.
Or, sorry,
That's
2
all it
OTAs
is.
in.
Yeah, the 3 storylines for training camp kind of highlight why OTAs
OTAs, sir.
are highlighting why OTAs suck and don't matter. Brandon Albert's not here. We got to make a story out of that. The defensive backs aren't practicing. We got to make a story out of that. Blake Bortles, whether or not he looks good or bad, we got to make a story out of that.
No, really.
His mechanics are changed, but
He looks great, but who cares? Nobody cares.
yeah,
I can give a damn about all that.
It would only be a story if he was garbage.
Yeah. And they said Dante looks lighter. Looks lighter and faster.
Okay, Dante Fowler looked great in training camp.
yep.
And they looked great in
Until practice against the Bucks last year.
Right.
all the way up
I
until
understood
the
that,
practice
yeah.
of the Bucks. He looked like a stud. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about his size.
I'm not
talking
holding
about
my
his weight.
breath.
That's all I said. So it looks like he lost a little weight. So we'll see what transpires there. Plus, he's also going to be one more year removed from an ACL. I've also been a strong advocate of the fact it takes 2 years to come back from an ACL fully.
Oh yeah, for
How
sure.
long does it take to learn to become a defensive end? Because he was never really defensive.
Yes.
No, he was never meant to be a defensive end.
That's my question. No, even at Florida, he was never.
That's why I just said he was never meant to be a
Okay,
defensive end.
I wasn't sure if you meant it like.
No,
at
he
the
never was
NFL
meant to
level.
be.
The big push.
He was meant to be a 3-4 outside linebacker.
And
Yes.
the internet is desperately trying to push him to strong side linebacker. Maybe when we trade Paz away, which is another thing the internet's trying to make happen, then he can
They're
be a
really
strong
trying to get
side
Pauls
linebacker.
out of here.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No,
No reason for it to happen.
At least not for this
No.
year. Probably next year he's probably gone back to the Bears because the Bears are picking up our scrap heaps like you would not believe.
Jaguars North.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Wow. That's a
Didn't
bold
a
move.
drunken
That's
Bears
so
fan
grim.
get knocked out last year?
Huh?
Didn't a drunken Bears fan get knocked out by a Jaguars fan
After
last year?
picking a fight with the Jaguars.
Yes.
He got
Yeah.
stomped.
Yes,
What
he
a
did.
terrible Sunday for that dude.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
that's a
We got to watch Blake Bortles put together
Dominating.
a comeback fourth quarter touchdown drive.
To a Rayleigh spin.
And then get knocked out by a Jaguars fan.
Wow. He probably
After
got
picking a fight with him.
divorced.
Oh boy.
He was
yeah.
not married.
He had some broad with him in the video.
Yeah, probably went home when a pet died. I can't imagine how much worse the day got, but whatever could have gone worse,
Oh, it went worse.
it happened.
That is the definition of Murphy's Law, ladies and gentlemen.
Murphy's Law is you losing to the Jaguars. And then everything else falling into place.
Oh, it just fell right into place. And you take it a fight and get in your ass kicked.
So that was the high point of the Jaguar season last year.
we just recapped it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Anyways, my storylines, my hot takes. Brian Walters goes on injury reserve. That's going to make cutting Rashad Green even more awkward because we won't have the Brian Walters excuse. As to why
Well,
he
I mean,
got
I
cut.
don't think it's going to be that easy necessarily.
Pretty dang easy.
Why?
Because he hasn't shown enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens in training camp. Because they're saying he's been working on the skills, he's been working on it with the coach.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Sure.
We're in
Last year, he worked on a lot, dropping balls.
He's been more active on social media than he has been on the field.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You can say that about a lot of players.
Yeah, but a lot of players don't drop balls.
Yeah, Luke Boyko's active on social media.
He is very
good
active.
way.
He is.
But he doesn't drop the ball whenever he's passing it to.
Yeah, Luke Boyko has
I was
never
gonna
dropped
say-
a pass. I guarantee it.
or
And I will agree with that guarantee.
or chucked it over 10 feet over Bortles' head.
He has
Luke
never
Bowenko
done
hasn't
it.
touched the ball much lately in a while.
And that's not fair to him.
No, it isn't. That's a shame.
Like, why did he even get benched for Wisniewski? That's something that I was pondering today.
That's just dumb across the board. That just shows the
competition, bro.
No, that just shows
loads of competition. Come on.
Inability on our coaching staff, our previous coaching staff. They wanted to find, plug and play certain players.
So you're so desperate, you got to find a star player like Stefan Wisniewski?
Yep, pretty much.
Get out of here.
Because they were forcing that zone blocking scheme.
Yeah.
I hate zone blocking. That's something I've learned from the Gus Bradley era. I hate zone blocking.
You know what I've learned from
the thing you hate from Gus Bradley era?
You know what I've learned from the Gus Bradley era? Round hole, square peg.
Yeah.
100%. That is Gus Bradley's era.
Well, yeah.
They will force that son of a bitch in.
You want to sum up the Gus Bradley era, it's a stretch play with Toby Gerhardt.
Still say they should have made him walk home.
I like it.
Yeah.
Walk Interstate 10 all the way.
Or at least grab his own Uber.
I know, right?
I kind of wish he would have won the Texans game and then gotten fired. Because supposedly they're going to fire him after the game regardless.
Yeah.
That would have been extra weird.
That would have been really awkward.
But
luckily, cheering his way. Good job, guys.
Luckily, he Gus Bradley'd it up so badly that everybody was like, okay, yeah, this is the time you should fire him.
My thing is, why even wait that time when they already made the decision after the Vikings game? Like,
it's just going to make your head explode. Don't think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will make the most awkward point possible. They will do a road game.
That's what
fire him before he gets on the bus and then sit on the way home.
That's what still makes me question some aspects of this current franchise.
You get home and then you beat the shit out of the Titans. Just makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Because you're relieved because you got rid of a crappy coach.
But so far, I like what the current staff is doing right now because it looks like the offensive line is going to be shuffling because they are working around different aspects of the line, which I like.
So approval rating time. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of the problem was Gus Bradley?
I don't know, we'll see.
I say 70%.
No, it's not a we'll see question. It's how you feel. Do you feel like he was he was 100% of the problem or 50% of the problem?
I'll say 70% because he always blamed
nice.
someone else for the problem. It was always a particular player or something. He never took any ownership of anything.
One of the biggest things I knew that pissed off was every time Blake threw an interception, which was pretty damn often, claps from Gus or a slap on the ass. That was Gus's answer to it. Any other damn coach would be chewing his ass out. Not Gus. He would just slap on the ass and send him to the bench. There was a very bridge of lack of communication between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, but...
And you can blame it for being offensive defense.
But you don't really know if he was getting after him. I say that that's a really fine line in my head. Because
you don't wait until after the game to go after someone. You do it right there so they know they screwed up.
Well, because you don't want to do it in front. You don't want to give the illusion that you're losing control, and that's what happens when you scream at a person in front of other people. You know. So I don't
like there was no accountability though.
No, I've seen a lot of coaches that have not lost control and they chew some ass.
Do you think that
Belichick does it all the time? And how many rings does he have?
Do you think that Blake Bortles ever felt like he was going to get benched?
No.
Nope.
No, I honestly don't.
He's not going to get benched this year, regardless either.
He's the goal.
Guaranteed. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. And go. I wish there was a video.
I mean, we're not exactly on video. Jason's having a hissy fit right now. Sorry about that.
Because Clay basically said in his face form, don't be surprised if Blake gets benched this year.
All right, hold on. Let's throw this out here. If Blake throws
20 interceptions, he's still not benched.
No, I think he will be. If he throws stop. You let me talk now.
Okay.
If he throws 18 interceptions hypothetically, and you're 10 games, 8 games into the season, and you're looking maybe 8 touchdowns, and basically he's utter complete shit, as you like to say. You know what you got at him. They're probably going to bench him because he's not the future. Because guess what? Hold on. Because he's not your future, and you don't want to take a chance on having to pay another $19 million next year.
Yeah.
So you're going to bench him.
So now you got incentive to bench him.
Yes.
I don't say they say he's the future now.
But
that's my thoughts. Dude.
You have the potential. You're giving him the possibility for an off-season
How many seasons has he had so far?
Yes, but different coaching staff. And now he's actually has the proper tutelage to go out, spending the whole time with Tom House and his cronies. And he's coming back.
He's done it for 3 years in a row.
No, he spent a weekend out there with them last year.
And then
because they complained about him. And the year before is when he threw 36 touchdowns. 35.
And still like 20-something interceptions. Not 20, but like...
Obviously, he was still coming on second
The
year.
reality is, very few quarterbacks have had a fluky season where they threw that many touchdowns.
Jason says is that he's been given so many passes. He doesn't.
That's
feel
my point.
If no matter what he does, they're never going to bench him because he never showed.
Well, at least not in this current year. I could be totally off my rocker because you're going to tell me that check down Chadwick.
No, I'm not saying check down Chadwick would be your answer. They'll put someone else in.
I don't want to lead towards Jason's. I would like to say they would bench him, but it's just the fact that what they show me is that they're just going to go. Okay,
Who is they?
the team, the coaching staff. They're
The
not going to
coaching
bench him.
staff is different.
Yes,
It's a
coaching.
totally
This is what we're
different
trying to
staff.
say. This is a different coaching staff.
So you're going to...
You don't have Gus going, good job,
You're going to
good
put
job.
this Arizona guy that was drafted in the 5th or 6th round from
Arkansas.
5th or 6th round guy that...
The guy they contemplated putting in weeks 15 last year.
If it's a lost season, then maybe.
They actually contemplated putting him in
I
last
just
year.
don't see him as the future. Is what I'm saying. I just do not see it.
I don't see it either.
They may not see him as a future, but he may be a stopgap for 8 games if Blake is that bad.
I mean, I would see Leftwich as the future before I would see him.
Well, that's a stretch.
Oh, that's pretty bad. But I'm simply saying, if he is not the future, if you see Blake is not the future, one, we're having a catastrophic season, obviously. After everything transpired, after all the offseason additions, and the running back, then obviously we already know Blake is not the answer. And obviously they do not want to take a risk at that point and cash in $19 million. They will sit his ass.
Well,
I will guarantee.
It doesn't become fully guaranteed unless injury.
Yes.
Exactly why you want to
That's
sit him.
why you want to sit him. Because a bad team,
Well, the injury
They're more prone to
the injury
injuries.
has to happen. Injury has to happen the following year, right?
No.
Or before the following.
If he gets
league
injured
year.
this season,
if he
he'll be
gets
guaranteed
injured this
19
season,
million
he'll
next
be
year.
guaranteed.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood
So
that.
breaking news.
I misunderstood that. I mean, it is what it is. I don't really care because we're not going to go any better than 8-8 anyway. So regardless.
But there's a difference in the 8 and 8.
Okay.
If Blake is throwing multiple interceptions in the 20 range, which would be catastrophic, or if you see an uptick in his play getting back somewhere to that second season, to where he's honing his skills, to where you see a promise.
There's a lot of room for it to suck.
There is a lot of room
There,
to suck.
okay.
But that middle
there's
ground
more-
of suck where
all right.
we don't know if we're committed.
Because
or
this is the
not.
first time he's had a running back of this type, and they seem like they're wanting to shuffle around the offensive line. So I see there's a lot more to where they're trying to alleviate the pressure from just Blake, to where Blake's will be slinging this up and down the field.
Yeah, because they are finally trying to accomplish what Gus Bradley said he wanted to accomplish for 4 years.
And they just never did it.
Yeah.
Blake's been throwing it way too much for his whole career.
I think,
including college.
I think he actually threw it. I'm not 100%. I think he actually threw it like one game. He threw it like 62 times last year, which is unheard of. I think the only other quarterback to throw it more times than him was Tom Brady, and he did that during the Super Bowl. And so there was a crazy amount of throwing, whereas supposedly they want him to hand it off to Fournette.
Yes.
Or the other running backs, whoever they might be. You know, I'm one that says Chris Ivory still makes the squad
And I agree.
because
Why would he not? He's too expensive to cut.
Right.
yeah, that and
Yeah, you can't cut him. And on the other end, TJ's too cheap.
yeah,
So he's
so-
probably going to make the squad too.
yeah. So you still got 3 running backs that I don't think have proven themselves at an NFL level for longer than a season. Any one of them. The only one that you can honestly say has ran good enough is Chris Ivory, and
Right.
that was only one really good year. Where he did win the rushing title that year.
Yeah, for the AFC, yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, he was fantastic. But I think there's definitely a lot of upside. And the way they're doing it, they want to keep the ball out of his hands for an extended period of time. He doesn't need to be throwing the ball. You don't want really any quarterback throwing it 60 times, 50 times a game. We've already discussed that.
Unless he's Peyton Manning in his prime.
Yeah, and even then, you really don't want it. You want to try to avoid it.
Every time you put the ball in the air, you're putting a higher risk on play.
Wasn't Favre throwing about that much at one point?
Yeah, but once again, if you look at Favre, what notable running back do you remember from him?
I can't think of one. He was the running back half the time.
You have like Ahmad Green. But for the most part, you don't really have many notable running backs.
Didn't he have like 1 year with Adrian Peterson?
2 years or whatever, but yeah.
I guess technically, yeah.
Technically. But that was like, you were on the other end of the tail end of the career. But for the most part, in his time in Green Bay, you're really, yeah. But for the most part, usually when it comes into throwing that much, it's because of the lack of running back and lack of running. Yeah. You want nice balance.
And I totally agree with the balance, but I don't know. And yes, I may be looking at it through Gus Bradley glasses because that's what I've seen for the past 4 years. But I don't know. I feel like action speaks louder than words. And you're going to tell me that they're going to put a 5th or 6th round quarterback instead of like Bortles. I feel like they could literally throw the entire season to crap just to pick in the top 2, 3, 4 overall, and that would make them feel just as good if that was
to happen. That would be, you would already know by midway, just after the season. That's what I'm saying. If that was to transpire, Blake would have to be pretty mad, and you would know that already at that point. That's when that would come to pass. Because there's no point in risking that money when you already know you're going to cut your losses. You know he's going to be gone. What's the point in risking him out there when you know your team's going to be bad? Not everyone on the line's going to be playing 100%. Blindside, bad shot here. He's gone. You're on the hook for another $19 million. Save your money where you can, especially when you're going to drop a rookie quarterback in this doomsday scenario.
Yeah,
and hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
I understand, but okay, let's say there's an average scenario. That still doesn't scream very awesome to any of us around the table. I mean, okay, yeah, we have a quasi-winning season. We go 500. Great. I mean, he's not at this point. I can't even compare him to Alex Smith.
No, and I'll agree with you on that.
No, Alex Smith isn't a bad quarterback though.
No, he's not. But
he's an average quarterback.
Average quarterbacks win Super Bowls.
Yes, but with great teams.
I would love an average quarterback.
But with great teams. Well, then why 4 years ago were we all trashy? All 4 years were we all sitting on the couch, watching football, trashing Alex Smith?
Because 4 years ago he was getting jettisoned for Colin Kaepernick because Colin Kaepernick was Kaepernicking his way to a Super Bowl.
That's kind of my point.
Colin Kaepernick just stolen his spot.
But my point is, you guys are totally missing my point. We were trashing a quarterback 4 years ago that we would love to have.
Well, obviously,
You
revisionist
aspire
history.
for greatness.
Yeah.
At this point, as a Jaguar fan, I haven't had a great quarterback. Really, ever.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we want our own homegrown
quarterback. At least
quarterback.
since 96.
Yeah. After Brunell's injury, that was pretty much it.
Yep.
96 was the last elite Brunell.
Yeah.
So at this point, I would take a mediocre quarterback. I desire the days of David Garrard.
Yeah,
all right.
Honestly.
So let's say
when DG was up there, your receivers are out there throwing flares up. I miss those days.
All right. Let's say hypothetically next year the Chiefs cut their boy Alex Smith, and we Jetson Blake Bortles. Are we going to go throw a couple mil at a slightly 33-year-old used Alex Smith? You think that's a good option?
I don't know. It's a great option, but it depends on obviously what state the team is. Because obviously, if we're getting rid of Blake Bortles, something did not go well.
This is a scenario Blake doesn't win us a Super Bowl. Is this what you're coming up with?
Yes,
apparently.
Because I don't see. Okay, I don't see. Even if he does go back to, let's say, 22 touchdowns, 23 touchdowns, 24 touchdowns, let's say it's like 10 and 11 interceptions, that's still not that good.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually not bad.
If you only throw 10 interceptions, that's actually pretty good.
No, 10 pick sixes. 10 pick sixes.
Why is he going to pick sixes?
Because those hurt worse.
Well, I mean, it probably will be less than that if it's only that many interceptions. Plus, if you get the ball out of his hands in critical moments and some points, then you eliminate a lot of that.
But he's not a critical moments kind of guy. He's even admitted it.
Once again, you don't know because he'll be out there with Tom House. He's spent a lot more time with Tom House.
The first year, bro, he literally was out there for 2.5 months. He went out there twice, I believe, the first year he was here. Mm-hmm. And, okay, yeah, he threw a lot of touchdowns. He threw a lot of interceptions. Big freaking deal.
Okay, and he's probably one of those.
Actually was a big freaking deal because
yes,
that was a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
To the point to where it's not like you can totally write it off as fluky.
He's one of those that's going to have to go out there every year, hone his craft. He needs the muscle memory. He's not going to be able to just do it 1 year and call it good, or every other couple of years. He's got to do it every year and stay diligent to it. That's just what he is. Some quarterbacks have to do that. Hell, I'm not.
Some of those quarterbacks are Tom Brady.
Yes, and I was about to say, I'm not even trying to compare him to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady has to do it every damn year.
What I'm trying to say is Blake Bortles is basically Tom Brady.
Essentially.
Yes. Absolutely freaking.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
On Circle of Pro.
One thing they have in common, they both need to spend their offseason working on the mechanics.
Working out there with Tom House, obviously.
Yes. A baseball pitcher.
Because he knows where his shoulder's supposed to be. And his elbow.
But the thing is, as long as he keeps working on it, and I have a lot of faith, maybe this is blind faith, whoever, but the few things I see this coaching staff trying to do, they're switching things up.
Yes, they are trying to make it, they're trying to not put it on Blake's shoulders. Great. He does not need a damn thing on his shoulders. He doesn't even need half the team on his shoulders. He probably only needs, no one on his shoulders. Ever. He's never taken a team and put them on his shoulders. Never. You're gonna try to tell me that Bears game? No, it was a fluky fucking play that the corner dropped, fell to the ground.
I mean,
and
he carried UCF past Baylor. I mean, that was pretty good. He did that.
Wow, we're going back 4 years.
Hey, I'm just saying.
All right, good night. Circle Prowl Weekly, over and out.
It's abrupt ending.
That was abrupt ending.
That was
Somebody
savage.
getting upset about quarterbacks.
Yes. Well, before we check out, one little tidbit. What do y'all think about Miles moving to the mic and how it's working so far?
Do you know?
I have no idea because none of it matters right now.
Okay.
Not even wearing pads.
I
What
do
do you
have-
have in the center position?
I do have a little thought. I don't know if it's needed to say now, but I did read today that Tampa Bay, August 15th, 16th practices are open
Yes.
to the public.
That is true. Thank you for reminding me because we have scrimmage practices with Tampa Bay, and the Jaguars will be going up to Rhode Island to scrimmage with the New England Patriots.
Which is
good. It's good to set a bar with a Super Bowl champion.
Which maybe our losing could rub off on them, and maybe their winning could rub off on
Are
ours.
you-
Maybe we can figure
saying-
out how to turn off the radios for the other team
Yeah.
Yes.
while we're up there. That'd be a handy
They
thing to have.
can show us how to deflate balls.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for stopping by. This has been a Boldcastify production and is produced just for the people of Duval and beyond. Also, show notes and upload dates are found at boldcastify.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorites on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat at Boldcastify. All links are on social media. Think bold. Speak bold. Live bold. Boldcastify.